Hey, what's going on, you guys? Nicolas Boy here, the Cyber Pro Coach, and in this video, I'm going to be answering a question that I just got on my last video. This question's coming from Hanan Sheikh 5939, and he asks, "Hey, Nicholas, can you make a video on becoming a cybersecurity engineer from absolute scratch? I have a bachelor's degree in computer applications, and I'm looking forward to pursuing cybersecurity as my future career. I've heard people commend or recommend, I think is what he's trying to say, recommend they have got their Security Plus and all, but I don't actually know what that is. I mean, a video that explains everything to becoming a cybersecurity engineer would be a big help." Okay, cool. No, I'm glad you asked that question. So, becoming a cybersecurity engineer. Now, this is one of the many different roles within cybersecurity, right? A lot of people, they think when they want to get into cybersecurity that they want to either be a ethical hacker or a hacker, but a hacker that does good hacking for companies and gets paid to do it, or a security analyst, which is what a lot of corporations are advertising. They're pushing this idea of becoming a security analyst, and like that's the entry level position for many, many people. Couple problems with that. One, becoming a security analyst is a very saturated job market, and so it's very hard to get in. You know, every university, every college certificate, or most certifications, they're pushing this idea: go become a security analyst, go do that. And it's very competitive because there's everyone trying to get in that path. And the other thing is that that job typically has you running shift work, right? So you're on first, second, or third shift, and you're monitoring for threats. And so you're just kind of sitting there waiting for a cyber attack to happen and then escalating that ticket over to the next person up, someone that's a little bit more senior to you, somebody that knows how to do threat analysis and that kind of thing, while you're just kind of sitting there monitoring. So it's kind of like a cybersecurity flavor of help desk, but you're also monitoring for like active emergencies that could be taking place. So that's one path, right? Pen testing is, or ethical hacking is exactly what it sounds like. You are ethically going into a corporation and you're hacking. You're trying to find vulnerabilities, you're writing up a report, and then you're submitting to the company so that they can fix it. Both of these roles, highly, highly saturated, not as ideal, I think, as many people would like, or they think it will be. They think these things are sexy. They want to go into them and do the job. And it doesn't end up panning out the way it is. One of the less popular options is becoming a security engineer. Now, what is that, right? Security engineer is a role in cybersecurity that focuses on building and architecting security controls in an environment. What does that mean? Okay, you go into your job in cybersecurity, right? You are, as a security engineer, you're going to be partnering with software developers. You're going to be partnering with architects, like information technology architects, IT architects. These could be cloud architects. These could be software architects, whatever, right? They're over here building the thing. They're over here planning on what to design, and you are the counterpart. You are the advisor. You are there to help them and guide them on the security side of things while they're focusing on performance. They're focusing on optimization. They're focusing on functionality, right? Many architects, many IT specialists outside of cybersecurity don't understand cybersecurity. They may know a little bit of it, but they don't know the legal, regulatory compliance aspects of it. They understand some of the technology possibly, but they don't know it to the full extent that you as a security engineer would be trained to know. So that's really the difference between a security engineer and a software engineer, or a security engineer and an IT cloud engineer, or something like that, right? You are the counterpart that focuses on the security for these other environments, okay? Now, typically where we see these roles and responsibilities in security engineering is going to be in cloud. So you're going to be a cloud security engineer, or software security engineer. And really that's just because of the nature of IT and where corporations are investing their money, okay? If we look at infrastructure, we're not really focused on-premise, building all these data centers or co-locations and stuff like that. Now it's a big shift in the cloud. And yes, companies are still doing that. So, don't write off the idea that these older or more traditional IT environments aren't being used, but companies are not going to invest, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars into this infrastructure just to have it, be replaced by cloud in the next 10 years, right? So as a practitioner, security professional, it's going to be more advantageous of you to go ahead and learn the cloud, learn how to secure it. That way you can get ahead and you have that career ahead of you for the next several years. So that's the cloud, right? Software is another thing. Software is being heavily promoted right now. I mean, a lot of companies are using software. I think especially with the pandemic and what happens there within the pandemic, a lot of people needed to be remote. Everything was online. Kids were doing school online. We were working online. E-commerce was booming because you couldn't go to the store to buy stuff. You had to buy it online. And so, a lot of shipping and all that stuff of these e-commerce products, these physical products that you were purchasing. And so software has just completely exploded, and it's going to continue to explode because that was the, foothold, the transition of how everything in business evolves, right? Look at the malls here in the United States. Malls are starting to dwindle. They're starting to die down. Why? Because people can go to Amazon.com, people can go to eBay, people can go to any of their retail stores online, and they can just order their whatever it is that they want to order, right? If you think about groceries, like how we go about ordering groceries, I don't go to the grocery store as much anymore. When I can just get on my phone, open an application, I can order the groceries and have them delivered to my house, right? So things are a lot more convenient. I don't have to get out there and go and do these things, right? So what we're seeing is brick and mortar physical locations in business starting to shift their financial resources, their investments towards online. And so what is online, right? Online is literally the cloud and software. So as a security practitioner, putting yourself in that area where you are focused on cloud and software, you're only setting yourself up for success because you're going to be where the money is flowing. The money is flowing in that direction, right? So that is the idea behind becoming a security engineer, why you want to become a security engineer, and a little bit about what that role actually does. Now, in your question here, in your comment, you said something about the Security Plus. A lot of people commend or recommend going and getting their Security Plus. Security Plus is a foundational entry-level cybersecurity certification, right? It's very, very general in nature. It doesn't focus specifically on any one role. So it's not like you're going to go and get the certification and then instantly you're qualified to become a security engineer or instantly you're qualified to become a security analyst, right? If you go to your local Barnes & Noble, local bookstore or whatever, or even buy an ebook or take an online free course or something, you'll notice that the Security Plus is an inch deep and a mile wide. It just gives you a little bit of a taste of everything within cybersecurity. And then it says, okay, here you go, take this test. And then you get to go and choose what you want to become, right? And just to give you an example of how broad this is, right? A couple of the domains are going to be, including software security is going to tell you, hey, here's the OWASP top 10. So it's like the top 10 software vulnerabilities that are out there. And then it'll talk a little bit about security controls. And then that's it. Now, you're going to leave this exam thinking, oh, I know the OWASP top 10. I know software vulnerabilities. But what you don't know is that there's literally hundreds of thousands of other software vulnerabilities that are out there that go beyond just the top 10. So you're not an expert in software security, right? Another thing, you're going to learn a little bit about digital forensics. They'll tell you, oh, this is what the FBI does. And oh, this is what, the different types of tools you need to be looking for. And here's how to stay secure on the internet. Very, very light, very lightweight, right? And then you're going to move on to the next chapter and they're going to talk about, okay, here's GRC, the governance, risk, and compliance. Now, in the governance, risk, and compliance, you need to know there's different data security standards, such as NIST 853, such as HIPAA, which is for healthcare. Like it's like little tiny things, right? Just a little taste of this and a little taste of that. And so when you go and sit for the exam, they're literally just, they're questioning you or quizzing you on your knowledge of identifying and recalling the information that you learned from your exam, right? I will say there's probably a little bit of a heavier focus on things like network security, right? So it's going to probably talk a little bit more about firewalls and probably different network protocols and security protocols for those network protocols, and authentication. It'll probably go into a little bit more detail on the systems. So here's the different types of viruses. These are the different ways you would go about removing the viruses. These are the different security controls you can put on a computer, something like that. So very, very lightweight in most other things, but a little bit heavier on the systems, a little heavier on the network security. Okay, that's really what you're getting out of the the Security Plus certification. Not a lot of information to really get you anywhere in your career, just gets you exposure. So that's really my answer to your question there. If I had to do this all over again, I would 100% go back into security engineering, because I don't want to have to do shift work. I don't want to have to stay up late and just be monitoring for a cyber attack to take place. I don't want to go into penetration testing, because that tends to be, kind of like you're only working when there's a test to be done and you're waiting in between, right? You can't do anything really else until you have another contract, another work, another penetration test to perform. I wouldn't want to worry about job security if that were the case. Plus, there's a lot of penetration testers. Security engineering is more proactive cybersecurity. That's what I tell my students. So it's not reactive. Reactive cybersecurity is a security analyst who's waiting for a cybersecurity threat to take place, and then they're responding to it. And don't get me wrong, they're busy. There's lots of cyber attacks happening all the time. But you're always concerned about that, and that might keep you up at night. And it's just it's less attractive to me than having a job where I just wake up, I have calls, we have different projects we're working on, and I'm helping construct and build security into a project, which is not stress inducing most of the time. And you're collaborating with other people, and you get to be kind of an advisor on these different things, these different topics within security. And you're not necessarily doing all the heavy lifting. You have the IT professionals that are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and you're just assisting. You're double checking their work. You're making sure that things are compliant. So it's a little bit more relaxed, or at least it has been for me in my career. And so I always tell people, go down security engineering path. Do that. Don't go become a security analyst. Okay? Anyways, I hope this helps. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to comment with your questions. I'm always looking for the comments. I use this to make videos. So if you want your question answered, make sure to leave your question down below, and I will happily make a video, potentially, and respond to your questions. All right, take care.